You can't go down Main Street and not see it.
I think it's the centerpiece of downtown Franklin. It's the Franklin Theater.
When you walk in, you just feel a sense of history that you just don't get in many other theaters, and certainly not here in Franklin.
Everybody would tell us, oh, that's where I got my first kiss. So that just sounded like the perfect tagline for it, home of first kisses.
There's still a lot of people in Williamson County that don't understand that this is a theater owned by the Heritage Foundation, but it's a nonprofit. It took hundreds of people in this community to stand up and say, I am going to donate money, time, effort, make phone calls to save it. This is our community's theater. It belongs to everyone.
What is it that it takes a village? Well, this village got together and we did it.
Well, me and the fellas, it around about 12 or 13, we started coming down to see a cowboy picture. All blacks had to come upstairs. You couldn't sit down on the floor. That's the way it was in those days. Blacks in the balcony, whites downtown, right down at the bottom. Just coming back up here brings back memories of sitting in the back. We knew we were being treated different. Certain things you could do, certain places you could go. You were taught it. First time in a long time since I've been in the balcony and realizing what a good view we had. It was better than being downstairs. You could actually see the screen better. We enjoyed ourselves up here by ourselves. We really had a good time. I'm gonna tell you the truth, sometimes we would throw popcorn down on the bottom. You know somebody done said something to you when you're coming in, okay. You forget we at the top.
We're gonna go find my Uncle Herbert. My uncle, Herbert Bowen, was the manager of the theater from the beginning until the mid-60s. He and my aunt, right here. All the kids called him Uncle Bobo. And Uncle Bobo was kind of hard on the kids and didn't want the boy to put the arm around the shoulder of the girl. He'd come tap them on the shoulder or something, make them stop that.
You know, we were kids, and of course you're a little bashful. And you get a little closer. He came down the aisles with his flashlight. He was watching everybody.
He would walk down the aisle, across the front of the theater, and back up the aisle while the movie was going on. As I got older, I'd want to go to Nashville. They would pick me up, and we'd go back to Nashville to the Green Hills Theater because that way we could hold hands.
I'm Emily McGidd, and I work as a volunteer every Tuesday for the last 23 years. I got gussied for y'all today, let me tell you. Usually I'm in jeans and a tie-dye shirt, or socks. Everything matches. I am harmonious. I am a harmonious bag woman, yes. With good jewelry. Heritage Foundation, this is Emily.
When people walk in and she greets them,
Are you having fun? Oh, I'm having a blast.
you know, she's just that front desk person.
This is Emily.
But they don't realize that they're walking into a building named after her. The irony is just so amazing.
I knew Emily as someone who wore tie-dyed clothes and that she had a willing heart to volunteer. I didn't know that she was very, very wealthy. I had no idea. I started getting calls of, hey, somebody's got to do something to save the Franklin Theater.
Oh, cool.
She's hearing all this. Emily is at the Heritage Foundation answering the phone. She's taking the calls. Hey, what are you gonna do? Are y'all gonna save that Franklin Theater?
We had an option and we were running out of time. And basically it was now or never.
It dawned on me maybe I had the money to do it, and so I called my CPA and I called my stockbroker and asked them at 4 o'clock in the morning if I could do that, and they both said yes.
Emily called me early about 5 one morning, the morning after the board meeting, saying she'd been up all night and she thought she could do it. And I said, what? And she said, I think I can buy the theater.
Bye. I didn't even realize it until that morning. I'm not kidding you. To me, $100 has always been a huge amount, and it still is. But I had never spent money before like that. And when I tell you I had to write the check, it was exciting.
Emily bought the building. She put the building in friendly ownership. It was the step that had to happen.
She had vision, and she came along at the right time and said, I will do this. And if it wasn't for her, it would be a ghost on Main Street.
I was here that night of the reopening. I remember the champagne toast when we had thousands of people out on the street. It was a really neat moment for Williamson County, a great thing for us to come together and celebrate. We were able to raise private money in a recession for something we all decided was important to our community for the long term.
It wasn't just our board who got behind it. It wasn't just our donors. It was the community as a whole. We had people who gave quite a lot of money, and then we had people down to young children who gave pennies. And the whole idea was to get the entire community involved because it is their theater.
You absolutely can quantify the economic impact of the Franklin Theater. And the way you do that is by talking to the shops here and the kind of traffic the theater drives when they have sold-out shows and what that means to the surrounding business.
To have a venue like that across the street from our restaurants, I mean, who can't appreciate that? When there's a show, be ready because everyone's coming. Everybody wants to eat in 30 minutes, so it's like for us, it's kind of exciting because we know what it's going to do for us as those events cycle through.
We've had some fantastic musical acts over the past 10 years. We've had children's groups, we've had theater, and we're looking just to expand that and make it multicultural, super diverse, and bring in something for everybody.
The idea of the 10th anniversary, it's always been something we've looked forward to, something that's been important, but it took on a new meaning after we spent almost a year with the lights down at the Franklin Theater.
Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S. Here's what we know.
I remember that day in March of 2020. It became abundantly clear to me at some point that we were not going to be able to have festivals, and we were not going to be able to have the Heritage Ball, and unfortunately we were not going to be able to keep the doors of the theater open. It was not safe, it wasn't wise, it was not financially possible to do that. And so there was this day that I sat on my porch at home and I cried, knowing that some of the team would be furloughed. Was tough, and we didn't know for how long.
The financial markets rocked, and more aggressive steps to fight the spread are just now beginning.
In the history of theaters and venues, they have something called the ghost light. Typically, the production manager or the technical director will come out at the end of the night and light the ghost light after everything is done and out, and it's there to welcome us when we come back, and it's there as a reminder to everyone that we're always going to be returning, and it keeps the ghosts happy. Kari Maxwell and I, our operations manager, we turned in our computers and our credit cards and our keys, and we turned on the ghost light and said goodbye.
To see the lights go off, to see the ghost light go on, there's just that added goodbye that seems so final, even if you are hopeful that it's not. It's just that finality to it that just, it takes your breath away.
There was a moment, lighting the ghost light for the last time and getting ready to leave the theater. My family was with me that day, and it was heart-stopping to realize 25 years of never missing a day of work, never lacking any work, but to realize that our whole industry is shutting down. And it got very real very quickly. That was a tough, tough day, and to have your family watching you, that's tough. I need to pause. I have a hard time talking about this. I really do.
Why?
Oh, my 2-year-old son. His beautiful mom's here. And we don't know what's going to happen. What are we going to do? It's tough. Sorry. It wasn't very long after the actual shutdown that we started to see some signs of life and opportunity. And I credit the directorship of the theater and the leadership of the Heritage Foundation for committing to and finding a way back.
There's like this opening night excitement. It's almost like the theater's been on this ventilator, and now we're coming off and breathing on our own again. I think for a while, everyone just kind of assumed this would always be here, and you know, now we know what life is like when you can't do these things that you love.
There's a huge sense of relief. We've survived, but how do we move forward in a meaningful way? I would love to see more authors' book tours, lectures, dancing troupes. So when people think of the Franklin Theater, they're thinking that there's something there for them.
It's not just a movie house to people. It's not just a place where they go see concerts. And so it adds that extra layer of just celebration. I think it's something that we have to not take for granted and really cherish. You know, we are truly fortunate to get to continue being a part of this community.
So much of what we do as an organization is bring people together. When we're at full capacity and these 300 seats are filled again, it's going to be a really great day in Franklin.